looking, picking when I really get to clicking, but I'm looking for a sister to revive and win a kiss. If you want some melody, just let me know.
Good evening and welcome to the Graham Craig Root Show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Azure Jewellery and Hertz Car Sales Blarney. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Happy Tuesday to you all. This week's competition coincides perfectly with Mother's Day afternoon tea for two in a 4-star Irish hotel. What better way to celebrate Mother's Day? To enter, like this post, share, and don't forget to tag your mammy. Now, who am I joined by tonight? CIT Student President Aaron Buckley, Supreme Socialite of Cork, hairdresser Brian Corcoran, LGBT advocate, support worker, Miss Gay Ireland. I could go on now. Stephanie Fogarty. She's everything.
That's my CV.
Thank you for joining me, guys. Aaron, busy few weeks for yourself?
Busy few weeks, yeah, indeed, yeah.
I don't know, but like Lisa, between yourself and Brexit, at least you stand by your promises and hence why you got re-elected for a 2-year spell in CIT. So tell me all about the election process.
So I got elected, I suppose, 12 months ago for my first term, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been a hell of an experience, been a privilege, and I just said, look, that I've enjoyed it so much, I'm not finished yet, so I said I'd do a second term, and I suppose I had a bit of fun then in my election with some of my promotional, I suppose, for it. So yeah, it was a good experience, and I'm delighted to be doing
and I think you must be doing something right, because whatever about to get elected once, but you go back and have another roll at the dice and get elected twice. And I've seen all the support you got online. But like, there would have been a lot of, say, local people that might have gone for election as well. Like maybe some close to the panel here tonight might have ran for election as well. Not throwing any shade, Stephanie. So like CIT student presidency was obviously something you were very passionate about, Stephanie.
Oh, it was, yeah, no, I was the vice president for welfare and I wanted to run for a second year, but
were you the Hillary Clinton of Cork?
This person here decided to come out of the woodworks and run for presidency. But I have to say, delighted with what he's done. I've been watching him, and to be fair, he gives me a phone call every now and then being like, so what do you think about this? And I'm like, it's grand, it's all good. But what I have to say is, one thing I was worried about was mental health within CIT, and I have to say you stuck to your word. Like, it's the mental health standards in CIT have skyrocketed. So
thanks so much.
And like Aaron, I'm surprised you could even make it tonight, because you seem to have something on every night of the week.
It's very busy at the moment.
Sport is a massive part of your life.
Yeah, so I suppose I've always been mad into sport. I play hurling and football, my local team Ballygarvan, and I suppose that led me to choose recreational leisure management as my first degree I did. And through there, then I suppose qualified as a personal trainer. And I've worked in the fitness industry in the last 3 years, so I'm huge into sport, huge into fitness.
I could get a few tips off. You have a holiday there in 5 weeks' time. And if I was to go down the beach at the moment, they'd think there was a little bit of an earthquake or something. So I definitely need to team up with you and get a few tips. Brian,
hi.
Socialite. Like, move over Paris Hilton when you're around.
She's the last year on the show.
So tell me, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, can't complain. Thank you for joining me.
Yep. I found it this time.
You did, fair play.
Got lost the last time.
So tell me, Socialite, like, so something I think really sums you up well. I think you really showcase Cork nightlife.
Yeah. Well, the gay scene, not really the straight scene. I don't really do much of the straight clubbing.
No?
Yeah, it's not for me.
Not for you.
I prefer just like to obviously go out with Stephanie and all them and see them all and just have
you
fun
wouldn't be in Secret Garden doing a
waltz
or a rumba with a girl, no?
you work too much.
Yeah, I work too much. I work Saturdays, you don't.
Oh.
Ooh, burn.
Yeah.
So Aaron, where is it, like Chambers is the place for Brian, where when you get a moment, if you're not playing sport or you're not running for election?
I've already told him to meet me in there and he still hasn't.
I've been in Chambers many times, a great nightclub.
Probably on a Wednesday.
DJ Jules inside on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Yeah. No, Secret Garden, Bowie, Voodoo, Block Bar. I'm very much into the social scene myself. It doesn't matter how hard you're working. I think there's always, you have to make time for nightlife and the socialising.
Yeah.
So I have to make time for it. That's more important than the work.
Oh, definitely.
Especially in the student union, though, you have
Yeah.
to be seen socialising with
Yeah,
students.
that's what I tell people anyway, that you have to be out. That's a good excuse to be out.
And did you feel the pressure? Were you running? Like, or
Definitely,
were you,
yeah, because-
did you feel you were a dead start?
No, definitely never dead cert, and you always feel the pressure, especially when you're putting stuff out there in a public forum. You can either be loved or you can be spat back out. So I'm just delighted that students got behind me and voted me for a second term. So I was delighted.
Perfect.
Largest
And the race
voter
day,
turnout.
that was recently,
The
wasn't
race
it?
day, yeah. So I suppose there was that became into
A few
the
sore heads after that?
Yeah. So how that came into the headlines, I suppose, was I've noticed that there was a lot of students who had exams on race day, which I think is a mortal sin. To be honest, I think it's the Christmas day of the nightlife in college, and I just think no one should have exams on race day. So I suppose I took it upon myself to start changing exams on race day and getting them moved.
But that must have been difficult because like, you have to go to lecturers,
Definitely,
you have to go to a board of educational people and say,
Yeah.
I kind of want to go on a piss up there with my friends.
Yeah.
I have exams that day. Can you move it?
You don't word it that way, though.
No.
You word it that it's going to be the pinnacle of their student
Social
experience.
event of the
and
year,
and
yeah.
It's going to boost their experience and their relationship with their peers. So that's the way you word it. You wouldn't word it that you're going
So
for a
proud.
session.
I gifted a go. I'm sure like the car dealership would be delighted to have you on board. These are all the cars be running out the door. So guys, this was Netflix. It's the one thing we all kind of go to when we have a bit of spare time to see what's out there, what kind of documentaries. But one thing that's kind of been centre stage, and it goes back to the 3rd of May 2007, was the disappearance of Madeleine McCann in Praia da Luz. We can all have an opinion. I'm sure as 4 of us speak here tonight, we're all going to have different opinions. The documentary covers it really well. I'm very surprised to hear it was actually produced by an Irish couple, a Waterford couple. So it was to think that like 23 million production went into it. But some of the stuff, and I know yourself, you're really passionate about this, Aaron, and you're going to have a lot to say. But I just got a kickstart to say that I'm not a parent myself, but one day I will be, hopefully, please God. If I went on a foreign holiday and I was to bring a group of children with me, or I would be in the company of that child 24/7, or if I wasn't in the company of that child, the responsible adult would be. I think to put the kids at bed at 7 o'clock and go out for the evening, they may be only 100 yards away or 150 yards away. Once you close that door, you don't know what goes on in the room. So 3 kids under the age of 5, Aaron, in a foreign country, away from home, realistically being checked on every half an hour. What's your thoughts on that?
I think the parents made a big mistake leaving the kids behind. They definitely showed a lot of negligence. They probably they're going to think that mistake for the rest of their life, and they're never going to get over that mistake. But it's an awful mistake to make. But at the same time, they didn't deserve it. I don't think what came their way the next 12 years. I'm probably one of the few people who actually feel that the parents are innocent. I know there's a lot of stuff going on social media at the moment. I think the parents are guilty. I personally don't think.
I've had my opinion myself over the years. I actually think the documentary, even though the McCanns had no involvement in it, didn't want any involvement, I think they should credit the documentary because I think it has changed some perception.
Yeah.
I was, for some stage, very kind of sided towards him. I think the documentary shows that there was a lot of registered sexual offenders in Praia da Luz. The sexual trafficking amongst children in that area is crazy. They're very easy to be got out of the children. I think Madeleine's distinctives, her traits, her look and everything, the fact that she was the only child taken amongst 3 in a room goes to say a lot. Stephanie?
Oh, well, I haven't watched the documentary, to be fair, but my opinion on it, obviously, I think it's been very much romanticised and fantasised about, and it's been done so much on a media side that people are focusing on Madeleine McCann, which, look, I'm not going to take away from it, was horrific. But she's a young white girl from middle-class family. That's where all the attention came from. Well-off parents, you know, so everyone was up on board on this. But at the same time, you need to look at what's still going on. There's still child trafficking every day. There's at least, I think it's UNICEF and Europol had a research report done in 2018, and at least 28% of all trafficked humans are children. And that goes even higher than when you go to like Sub-Saharan Africa, it's 62 to 64%.
I know they mentioned like Marrakesh, Morocco, all them areas,
yeah,
and it's very high
then you need to look
percentages.
at the children from like Syria and Ghana and all that who are coming in kind of refugee status and direct provision and stuff like that, and they're being trafficked and they're being taken as usually for sexual exploits or labour.
And Stephanie, what would you say to the theory that the 3 children were sedated while the parents went out over the course of the week?
Well, geez, I know that people used to give their kids a sup of Heineken every now and then, be like, go sleep, you know, go sleep or having a barbecue, you know. I don't know, like, genuinely my opinion on that, I'm not 100% on it, but I wouldn't be surprised some parents, they might want the kids to go sleep that bit early so they can go out and party. But even if you're 10 feet away and that door's closed, you don't know
But
what's
as a
happening with your
parent,
child.
and say, like, I think you have a moral responsibility for
If
your
a
child into
parent,
the world.
if I was ever to find out that parents sedated their child just so they can go out and have a few quiet bevies, I would lose the plot.
And say the class of the McCanns, they are a higher class, they were both doctors. If they were a lower class, do you
We'd look
think
at the exposure, we wouldn't know about it, we wouldn't be
But
talking
there
about
wouldn't be the exposure, that's what I'm saying. That's why there is so much exposure, because of their demographic and because of their incomes and what Madeleine McCann looks like. I mean, if you were to put a child from Ghana, Syria, wherever it is, and say that happened, people they're desensitised now at this point, and it's a disgrace that it's going on. So,
Brian, do you think Maddie was a victim of a traffic ring?
To be honest, I just think that when you're brought into the world, your parents are there to protect you and not leave you on your own. And what happened to her was a horrible situation, and I personally don't agree with the whole trafficking thing. Like, I don't think that happened. I just think something else happened.
Well, like, there's another theory as well that she got up and, like, she
Walked
could have
off.
wandered and she could have been involved in an accident and something like. But like, I don't think that theory merges up. I think, bearing in mind, if you have a lot of registered sexual offenders in the
You don't
area,
need to put on
2
roll.
years beforehand, there was an incident with a 10-year-old girl in Prior to Luge, and there's a lot to be said there. There was over 20 registered sexual offenders in the area. I think the police. There was a foreign language barrier there as well. They were a different country, but I think in this country or in any country, I think all the ports should have been cornered off. Any kind of stopping destination points, the airport should have been sealed.
Nobody should have been
You
allowed.
had the first 4 hours to do that, and that only happened in day 3. She was in a new
Longer.
country, well and truly by
I
then.
feel as well there's a lot to be said about the fact that they sat at the same table every night, and if you watch that documentary, it's well known to all the holidays in Predluse that was our table. It was booked, reserved for them, and it was reserved for a certain amount of people, so anyone could add up and say, right, that's only for the adults, there's obviously going to be kids left in the room, and that's how you plot your...
On the first night of the holiday, they went to a restaurant a little bit further away from the resort they were staying in, and they said it was a little bit of a trek to get back with buggies and everything. 3 young kids under the age of 5. So they did. Kate went down to the reception the next day and said to the lady at reception, "Can we book into the tapas bar for the week? It's very central to us. We're leaving our kids at home and on their own in the apartment. It's central for us to go back and check." It was written in the reception book that this family needs a reservation for the rest of the week. That reservation book was seen by all staff and members of the resort, so everyone knew that them kids were in the apartment by
could
themselves
plan it from
from
there.
7 o'clock at night. So Brian, would you not think that's ludicrous alone?
It's kind of like, I'm not going to say anything nasty, but I'm trying to hold my best. But I just, like, if it was such a common knowledge, like, from all the staff, like, they don't know who the staff is. They know that one lady that they talk to. How do they know that, like, one of those registered sex offenders is after reading that and knows that their kid's on road? It could have happened, but I don't know. I just find it very unsettling, to be honest.
And do you think,
I just feel so bad for her.
like, do you think, Stephanie, the case will ever be solved?
no.
No?
No, I think because you can do if, buts and maybes and you could be going around and around all the time, but there's never going to be a direct answer to this. I mean, you do hear of cases where people who have been trafficked, like 20 years later, they're grown, they actually come forward and be like, look, this is what's going on. It's almost like Stockholm Syndrome in a sense. You grow love for the person who has abducted you. It could, you never know, and hopefully that girl hasn't been killed or, you know, that she comes out unharmed.
As well, that, like, say, a family that couldn't conceive children naturally watched the family through the course of the week, had a strong opinion that they disagreed that the kids weren't being looked after right because they were being left for such a long period of time, and had a liking for Madeleine and went in and kidnapped her.
I think that is more, that's the kind of theory I have, that it was something like that because, or if it was taken by, I suppose, a rich family who couldn't have kids. That's what I think would happen.
Someone to disappear without a vanish, you have to have money behind you, because you have to get to a port. You have to have a boat in sight. You have to be able to get out to sea and
Get away quick.
Yeah, to get away quick. And
You need to have it fast about it. Like,
You need
can't
to
be slow.
have contacts and you need to have, you need to have money.
So it had to be planned over the course of the week. They had a set routine as well over the course of the week. Aaron, I think you'll give a good answer to this one. Do you think the McCanns have been used as scapegoats to save the tourism industry?
That's really, I suppose we discussed offset earlier that definitely I think that the Portuguese government, Portuguese police, they wanted, I suppose, use the McCanns as a scapegoat to save the tourism industry in the Algarve, and that's why I think they, and because statistically it's normally someone who's close to the child is abducted, or a parent or a family member, someone who knows them. So I suppose that was
something to play on.
It was something for them to blame. It'd be easier for them if it was an English couple that they blame rather than people going over to Portugal thinking that there's a kidnapper or abductor.
In the percentage of the case being ever solved, do you think the police have failed a massive this part of the case ever being solved?
I think it will definitely be solved at some stage.
In some stage.
It could be 20 years down the line, 30 down there, but
we're approaching 12 years now.
Things get out. Things always, the truth always comes out in the end, in my opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
You're
confident.
Like he's going to solve it himself.
But the thing was, 12 years ago, how old was she when she was abducted?
3.
She was 3, so she'd be 15 now,
let's say.
next month.
Yeah, I think she'll be starting
She knows the birthday and all. But what I'm saying is, like, give it another 10 years, and if it is that whole way that she realises it's not where I'm from, you know, and goes forward and presents herself, that could be an option. And I mean, if that is something that happens, then fantastic, because that girl gets to be reunited with her family, then family aren't being pegged as killers, or that they sold their child, I think was another conspiracy theory.
That was it.
Yeah.
I doubt that we can wipe out that one, I'm pretty certain of, because I think if you watch Kate's backstory, she actually struggled to have children. She had to have IVF and everything. So when someone goes to them limits to go about having children.
Also, I don't think that basically you go on holidays to go and commit that crime. You surely do it in a I suppose a zone that you're comfortable with, like your home. I don't think you go half across the world to go commit a crime like that. If you're going to commit it, you commit it at home.
I'm never going to your house. Crimes left, right and centre at your house.
So I think the four of us are agreeing so honestly that, like, we just 100%, the one thing that we do agree on, that you would not, like, to leave 3 kids under the age of 5 in a house in a foreign country alone, maybe 100, 150 yards to a restaurant, has been wrong for a period of time. Agreeing with that?
Yeah, definitely agree with that,
yeah.
I mean, don't bring 3 kids under the age of 5 on holiday if you don't want to be lugging a buggy around.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, don't have kids.
My sister brings her kids on holidays all the time and they're never away from her.
Yeah.
So guys, another competition. We have a meal for 2 to give away to 2 lucky viewers, and none other than Captain America's wings, burgers, milkshake, can maybe a cocktail. Guys, get entering. So we have 2 prizes to give away this week. To enter, like this post, tag your favourite foodie, and share. So Aaron, what's next? What's happening out in CIT now for the rest of the next couple of weeks?
It's always so happening. Steph will agree. It's never a dull day. There's always stuff going on. Next week where we have a USI Congress. It's where I suppose it's the national forum for, I suppose, passing motions, electing the new USI officer board. So there's always stuff happening. And we've 2 new officers starting in our office in June, so that'd be exciting to have, I suppose, new ideas coming into the office. So it's never a dull day. Always work to be done.
And Stephanie in the LGBT circuit, not just in Ireland.
Oh boy.
What's happening? What's happening in the next couple of weeks? I know last Wednesday was a massive day for Conrad, who was on to discuss.
He was, yeah. The LGBT Society had the launch of their GSA publication, which I'm so proud of. I was chairperson of that society for 3 years. And to see it from literally 5 people go to this, it's mind-boggling. Like, to see it, Conrad's
fantastic,
amazing as well.
Amazing,
across
Conrad's
the board.
Fantastic.
Myself, I'm actually going to Spain on Saturday for a class privilege workshop. So we're actually going to be discussing class privilege on a national level, and I actually get to do my body positivity workshops on an international level. So, you know.
Stephanie, what's this I need to kind of bring up with you about breaking the internet there? Throwing on a dress and breaking the internet. Like, not many people can have that impact. Facebook, boom, boom, boom.
I think I'm at about 600 likes on my profile picture alone.
That's what happens when a girl puts on a dress. Like, not your standard girl would get that result by putting on a dress. So I applaud you there, honey.
Thank you. No, my brother got married last week, so I had to make an effort. I suppose I put on a dress.
I'm looking for you do know 10th of August. You better not upstage me. So you no dress.
I take Christmas invite to the wedding.
So Brian, I touched on it at the start. Hairstylist. I know you're training to be a hairdresser.
Yeah, an icon. It's amazing. My boss is like one of the nicest people. She actually goes over to African Bill's schools with them and educate.
Perfect.
So we're going to be fundraising for her soon, and I continue to work there and just slay.
Yeah. And I know the new series of RuPaul is well and truly underway.
This is what I was here for.
Yeah.
These queens.
So tell me, Miss Vanjie.
Oh, she's not going to win.
No?
I have the top 4 in my head already.
So who are your top 4?
Brooklyn, Silky, Evie and Plastique.
And the current series of All Stars, did you agree with the result of that, top 2?
No, because I thought it was like a cop out.
Yeah.
And season
We'll
3, Trixie won through a hollow loophole.
You can fill
Yeah.
me in later.
So
Are you lost?
He has no idea.
he doesn't know what drag queens are.
No,
He's like, what is this?
I know what drag queens are. I just don't know the
He knows
shows.
Paul Ryder though.
Yeah.
Paul Ryder
We all
come out
know
and did, showed us in our Rag Week. It's
Yeah.
fantastic, incredible,
Paul's actually performing at my wedding.
incredible. He's incredible,
Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
But
Amazing.
sure, it's the Ringmasters is on
Ringmasters is
in
in
Chambers.
on the 12th of April, I think
it's
it
in
is.
2 or 3 weeks.
So you have a lot of local
And
queens
like,
going into
there's
that
a
as well.
great judging panel as well, like Nathan Adams, Keane Corrigan from Big
I
Brother,
should be a judge.
Letitia Lissane.
Letitia,
Yeah,
She's
Mia.
reigning though, isn't she?
Yeah,
she's
she-
reigning
yeah.
She was
Ringmasters,
the
yeah.
last winner.
Letitia's fine.
Brian,
Anything with
Would
drag
you-
queens, I'm here.
would you have ever dabbled in drag yourself?
God, no, I don't have the time for that.
No?
Busy. No, I just don't have the bone structure.
I have.
Like, you're a drag king, honey.
I'm a drag king, honey.
Yeah.
Well, at least
And
I
I
I
think,
get to do it.
I think that's a lot harder than being a drag queen, Stephanie. That is definitely a lot harder than being a drag
It's
queen.
not a lot harder. It's just difficult because
To get a reaction from the crowd is
get a
harder.
reaction from the crowd. But sure, I just dance.
I think
and
you get a
anyway,
reaction.
I get a
though.
reaction
Because
Yeah.
Mia Gold is one of the resident queens, like, so she's always there. Like she's.
But
she's
I'm
there.
a rarity.
Be-
Wave to
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Guys, I could chat to Aaron, I could chat to Brian, I could chat to Stephanie all night long. You heard our appearance about the current Netflix. It's a documentary taking Netflix by storm, the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. We have 2 fabulous competitions, very food-based, you'd easily know being with me. So get entering, like, share, tag your mammy if it's for the afternoon tea, or tag your inner foodie if it's for the dinner in Captain America's. Catch me next week when we go live again at 8:30, folks. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Thanks guys. Yeah.
And I really get to clicking.